Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of Africa Northern. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is America is on a decline. This has been a big week in politics. The New York Times recently released Donald Trump's tax returns for the last 20 years. And it revealed a lot of what they were worried about when he was campaigning because he wouldn't release it. They feared that he had owed money to foreign countries and different things like that, and he could be a security concern. And sure enough, once they revealed the taxes, people started going through them, and everything Donald Trump said about himself was the complete opposite of what he said he was. Said he was a billionaire. That's not the case. Come to find out that his companies, his business was hemorrhaging money, millions of dollars for years. And it also showed he was doing write-offs like $70,000 for haircuts for him and Bianca, which to me is a felony. And if you're committing tax fraud at that level and then run for president of the United States, once your records have been released, it's not about now you're under audit and you can't release your records. Now the FBI or some special prosecutor or something has to check your records to see if you had done this, because if you've done that, that means that you're a felon and you're not qualified to run for president of the United States, and then you can get locked up. But they didn't do that. It also, showed that he only paid like $750 for federal taxes the year he ran for president of the United States. And he also paid $14,000 to Panama, and I don't know how much to Turkey and all these other countries. So you have a president paying more for taxes for countries outside of the country he resides in. This is why this country is on a decline, because you continually put the same race of people in position, and there's not a nickel's worth of difference between a Republican and Democrat. There's not a nickel's worth of difference between white man and the devil. And until the rest of us wrap our brains around that, this country is going to continue on a decline. And the thing that bothers me the most is the matrix type backbending people are doing to justify Donald Trump not paying taxes. I'm listening to a local radio guy, not Mark Champion, what was his name? Frank Beckman. He used to announce the Michigan football game. A very good announcer, but he's far right. University of Michigan is far left, and they kept clashing. So they just decided to part ways. And I regret that, because Frank Beckman was an excellent football play guy, but his politics and his mentality is just stupid. I'm listening to him the other day, and he's talking about how when he was a child, he thought that everybody should pay taxes. But as he grew up, got older, he said now it's like taxes are a punishment for the rich, because they have to pay so much more than everybody else. And see, with mentality like that, I'd rather have children running the government than these grown idiots. Because the more money you make, the more taxes you have to pay. If everybody pays the same amount of taxes or the same percentage of taxes, of course the millionaires are going to always pay more than everybody else. And how is it a punishment for success to pay taxes that you still using the services that these taxes provide for? Federal income taxes pay for police, fire, teachers, the FBI, the CIA, the military. It supports the country during hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, any natural disaster. Federal funding comes into play. So it should be an honor, a badge of honor, that you could pay more than everybody else. If you are truly happy and blessed to be in this country, like you say, if you truly love the military, like you say, you should be happy to contribute more to the military than anybody else. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to fight for the military. You don't want to join the military. And now, because you make so much money, you don't even want to pay for the military. But you want their protection. You see, as people of color, my people, you need somebody with compassion that's going to be your leader. White people have no compassion. They will gladly run for political office, not want to pay taxes, but then utilize all the resources that these taxes pay for. They don't have no problem stripping everybody of health care that they're never going to use, but they'll deny you of it. This is why this country is steadily on the decline. You have a president that's more committed to foreign countries and foreign leaders than they are to the same country that they reside in. You have Donald Trump going to Russia to have a meeting with Vladimir Putin. Then at the end, you want to have a one-on-one with him, with no interpreter or anything. You want to have a private meeting with Vladimir Putin. And to this day, they still don't know what y'all discuss. But now, thanks to these income tax returns, we see that you owe all these foreign countries money, and this is what I believe you were talking to Putin about. This is why you're reluctant to say anything to him about whether he was putting a bounty out on the military. This is why you were so readily to dismiss the intelligence agencies when they told you that Russia was interfering with our election, and you kept wanting to blame China. There's a great revealing coming about. And Donald Trump, you are not what you claim to be. And it's sad that I still, to this day, see people wanting to back and support this guy. And we know now that he was running for president just to keep his name in the public spotlight. His businesses was losing millions of dollars a year. He has hundreds of millions of dollars in debt that's coming due. And as long as he stays in office, they know they can't arrest him. And the banks can't come after him because as president, he writes the codes that they go by. So they can't do that. So when this guy said he's going to refuse to leave the White House, you better believe he means that. You know, as a people, you would think that you would want, as a woman, you want your man or your husband to have some type of experience that, understanding that you could feel comfortable with if he decide to ask you for your hand. Some type of shared experience. Now I'm a truck driver. I would feel more comfortable working for a company that is run by truck drivers, somebody who knows what it's like to be out there, as opposed to somebody who never been on the road, don't know nothing about what truck drivers go through. So if you had the choice to choose which company you'd rather work for, one that has no hands-on experience or one that has a shared experience, I'd rather go to one with the shared experience because it'll be easier to relate to this guy. He can relate to me as opposed to me explaining something to this guy and he has no clue as what I'm talking about. This is just like Donald Trump. No compassion, no shared experience. The governor of California is talking to him emphatically about coming together, working together to help contain the wildfires, and you can see the lack of empathy in this man's face. He has no, he's just, whatever this man is saying is going in one ear and out the other. And then Donald Trump responds, it's going to get cold soon. And it's like, what did I spend the last 2-3 minutes talking to this guy for? You think the cold weather is going to stop wildfires, just like you thought hot weather was going to stop the coronavirus. And people still want to vote for this guy for president? What shared experience do he have with everybody else in the world? He's a so-called millionaire billionaire, and he looks down on everybody. He said only suckers pay taxes. He called John McCain a loser because he was captured by the military. I only like people that wasn't captured. That's exactly what he said. So now, when you see that he only pays $750 in taxes, do you need to question anymore whether or not he said this about the military? Of course he did. And as long as he get to utilize all the resources that these taxes provide for, he's going to continue saying these things. I watched last night the debate, and as a grown man, I cringe less watching a horror movie than I did listening to this debate. I'm listening to the moderator basically begging Donald Trump to stop interrupting Joe Biden. And again, let me be clear. I am no fan of Joe Biden. I don't accept nor want any white person in any position of authority over me, period, or my people. And the idea that you have to pick from the lesser two evils, well, when you always have to pick between two devils, you're always going to have to pick the lesser of two evils. And Joe Biden just so happened to be that. He's just as evil as Donald Trump, but at least he's more polished. And I'm listening to the moderator, and he's President Trump. You and your party, y'all come up with the rules for this debate. Y'all establish the parameters, and you're the one that's breaking it. And then right on cue, Donald Trump, well, he's breaking them too. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God. I have a 7-year-old niece whom I adore, and she has more maturity than Donald Trump. I'm just like, how on earth in 2020 is it that my people have not come together and decided to figure out a way for whatever we're doing to work for them to put food on our table while we haven't transitioned to working for ourselves to put food on our table? So that when you see this debate going on, I could be sitting back as if it's comedy hour because I know I don't have to rely on either one of these clowns to live my life. Isn't it time we at least started thinking along that way? You know, when you have a president of the United States feel that he is beyond the responsibility to pay taxes, and you have his supporters on they okay with him not paying taxes. How do you get this guy to behave more like an adult? We have to do something to hold these people accountable. And to my people, as long as we continue working for these people, relying on these people, voting for these people, you're never going to give them any motivation to be better. But see, competition is what makes a person or organization or group better. When you look at Aretha Franklin and you look at the artists that was around her in her era, Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, all, baby, if you want to be a singer and you want to stand out, you gotta be committed to even get noticed amongst that group. I mean, you look at the Ohio Players, the Commodores, the Spinners, the Temptations. Bruh, if you had you a band and you wanted to be recognized and you got this kind of, we ain't gonna never be able to headline if we can't compete with these guys. So you got to get some people that's committed. Can you imagine how many records Aretha Franklin could have sold if she didn't have Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, Whitney Houston, all people to contend with? Michael Jackson didn't have to contend with Prince. Prince didn't have to contend with Michael Jackson. Do you know how many more records they would have sold? The Temptations, Commodores, they only wish one of them other groups was out the way. LTD, man, this is why white people are still the way they are. Because we never broke from them and created and made them compete for the position that they hold. And until we do that, they're going to always be on the decline because they got nobody to motivate them, nobody to inspire them. Because their greatest rival is right up under their thumb. No matter what they do, they ain't got to worry about the black man because we don't make a move unless we get their approval. And that's like a child growing up in a home and parents give him everything. He don't have to earn nothing. And then the next thing you know, he's your boss at your job. You think this guy gonna be compassionate? You think he's gonna be like, I know what you're going through. I know what you got. No, it's gonna be the worst boss you ever had. This system is built on people who have not been held accountable for 500 years. And you wonder why this country is on a decline. And then you get Donald Trump come in office, and he put a couple of little trinkets up for blacks, and all of a sudden, oh, Donald Trump has done more for black people. Has he done anything to make you be independent of him? Has he done anything to motivate you to provide for yourselves? When I train people at my job, I want to train them to the point where they don't have to come back to me no more for information. So they can go out there and do it on their own and they don't have to come back. White people are never going to train or motivate us to get to that point. We're going to be constantly in a state of coming back to them. They're not going to get better because of it, and we're definitely not going to get better because of it. You know, before I end this video, let me say this. I'm listening to a report the other day where Joy Reid was talking about, Donald Trump and the money that he owed other countries and the taxes that he hadn't paid very little, avoided paying, whatever. Say, how come the IRS didn't audit this guy? And the reason why the IRS did not audit him was because their official response was, we don't have enough money to audit white people properly. So that's why our audits focus more on black and brown people. And that is the most ridiculous, nonsensical excuse I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're on a tight budget and you want to audit people properly, why would you pick the larger group of people as opposed to the smaller group? If you're the IRS, you audit somebody because you feel that they have gotten money back that they shouldn't have gotten back. So why don't you take what limited resources you have, target the smaller group of affluent people that you can afford to audit properly, because you have a higher chance of collecting the money that you're looking for. What sense does it make for you to take your limited resources, target a larger group that has less money and very little chance of you collecting? So you're wasting your money. And see, and one of the things is, you have the IRS, a government body, targeting the poor who pay the taxes, and always showing leniency to the rich white people who, once become rich enough, don't pay taxes. So if I'm going to go after anybody, why would I go after the people that's paying my salary? Target the people that's not paying. This is why this country is steadily on the decline, because this country is running backwards because the people who are in charge are backwards people. Excuse me. And we have to realize this. This makes no sense. And it makes even less sense that we don't come from out of the margin that white people have put us in and get from up under their own understanding. Because it's one thing not to follow somebody else's rules. It's something altogether different when you can't even follow your own rules. This country is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. But freedom means I can do what I want to do, not do what you want me to do. When the national anthem play, if you want to stand up, you have that right. I choose to sit down. And I don't need you having given me your dirty looks while I do it. If I want to take a knee, I can take a knee. My livelihood should not depend on whether you understand the reason why I'm taking a knee or not. I'm exercising my freedom. But see, white people don't understand that. And their concerns is not my concern. My concern is my people. And I want my people to understand that they cannot follow their own rules. They punish us more severely than they punish themselves. Not only did Donald Trump not pay taxes, but he got back in return hundreds of millions of dollars in 1 year. This is why the IRS is waiting for him to come out of office. A mistake like that they would never make for us. White people are never going to provide a way for us. They're always going to justify our mistreatment. And we even tell this to ourselves. I heard this lady tell, I'm at the Secretary of State, and she's talking some stuff about black people, and we hold ourselves back. Why do we hold ourselves back? Because white people has put black people in the condition that they turn on each other. You change the condition of a people, and you will change the people. You could change a person within the same condition, but you cannot change the people within the same condition. We got to realize that, and that's what my mission is to do, and for us to create and build our own way of life. So I'm going to end this video here, and with this video and with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.